Bore da, croeso I Gwasanaeth Dathliad, good morning, and welcome to our celebration assembly. We've had another great week in school. One of the highlights was when some of our older children were lucky enough to train with Olympic and Commonwealth athlete Leon Reid. He took their PE lessons this week and inspired the children with his fitness regime. The children showed excellent behaviour and Leon said he would like to come back to Windsor Clive again soon. Now let's see who's been going above and beyond this week to follow the Windsor Clive way. In nursery this week, Miss Owen has chosen Poppy Deisbecker for being respectful, by being kind to others and a great friend, and Ethos Llewellyn for always being ready, always being really great at listening in class. In Miss Harry's reception class this week, she has chosen Mia Richards for being ready to learn, doing amazing work at home and in school, and Kelson Toby for always being ready to learn at school in every single lesson. Well done. Mrs. McLagan has chosen two children for the same reason this week. She's chosen Sienna Anderson and Omar Tia for always being ready to learn at school and at home by doing amazing home learning. Mrs. Jonas and Mrs. Lace have chosen Sajida Mia this week for always completing her homework on Google Classroom, and Michael Wood for always going above and beyond to show the Windsor Clive way in and outside the classroom. In our other Year 1 class this week, Mrs. Lewis has chosen Isabella Stewart and Zachary Stokes for the same reasons, always being ready to learn, listening carefully, and being kind and enthusiastic members of the class. Mrs. Lansing and Mrs. Prothero have chosen Ayana Dawson this week for always being ready, sitting like a star on the carpet, and Lexi Hill for always being ready to answer questions in class discussions. In Mrs. Thompson's Year 2 class this week, she has chosen Harari Hirani and Mahir Rashid for always sitting like a star in class discussions and putting their hands up to speak when asked to. In our Wellbeing class this week, Mrs. Harris has chosen Mika Barusi following the Windsor Clive way and excellent AR reading. In Key Stage 2, and Mrs. McDonald has chosen Lexi Bolton this week for always following the Windsor Clive way, and Yusuf El Said for working really hard and challenging himself in all lessons over the week. In our other Year 3 class this week, Miss Reynolds has chosen Maggie Williams for following the Windsor Clive way and always being helpful and kind to other children, and Mazaya Siddiqui for always being ready by tracking the speaker and following the Windsor Clive way. Into Year 4, and Mrs. Mogford and Mrs. Vancourt have chosen Atib Khan for excellent work in maths, subtracting and trying hard to solve different word problems, and Amelia Ross for writing an amazing play script this week. In Mrs. Monaco's Year 4 class this week, she has chosen Millie Smith-Payne for a much improved attitude towards her learning and going above and beyond as a learning leader, and Matthew Richards for going above and beyond in his literacy learning and always following the Windsor Clive way. In Year 5 this week, Miss Coslet has chosen Noor Shah for always being ready, engaging with maths work and trying extra hard, and Lingishi Sumtharam for always being ready, always setting a good example to others in class. In Miss Morris's class this week, Miss Morris has chosen Lucia Lowe Rodriguez for going above and beyond this week. She she has completed all of her homework on Google Classroom, and Cheyenne Rashid for always being ready to learn when he comes into class. In Year 6 this week, Mrs. Mings has chosen Clayton Hendrickson for an excellent attitude in class and always being ready to learn, and Georgia Adams for always being an enthusiastic learner both in class and on Google Classroom. In Miss Cruz's Year 6 class this week, she has chosen Irako Hirani for always being on task and producing great work this week, especially in maths, and Bethan Painter for an amazing week, great behaviour and showing perseverance and not giving up on any work.